Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we're going to be taking a look at a knife I've wanted to experience for the longest time, and that is none other than the custom Knife Factory Fif20. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this beautiful knife right here. We have an overall length of 7.87 inches with a blade length coming in at 3.35 inches and a blade width of 1.14 inches. That blade thickness is 0.137 inches and blade material is M390. We have a drop point blade with a flat grind, a handle length coming in at 4.53 inches, as well as a handle thickness coming in at 0.569 inches. So got a little girth on this guy. We have a handle width of 1.09 inches, and the handle material, it's a nice spread here, premium spread. We have titanium liners, a zirconium bolster on each side, as well as carbon fiber scales. So very nice threesome of premium materials there. As we said, that is a liner lock with a right hand only tip-up carry, weight coming in at 4.62 ounces. Price, $580. Custom Knife Factory does not make inexpensive knives. And the designer of this knife is Philippe Georgette. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now let's get into some size comparisons real quick to see what we got here. Let's go with the Spyderco Shaman, which is actually a good comparison when the knives are closed. They kind of have similar profiles closed, length and whatnot. Obviously, the Shaman is much wider, but there was just something about that to me that kind of stood out to the closed profiles, which may be completely different to some, but it was just kind of what I thought of when I saw it closed. And there we have the open length comparison, as well as your TRM Atom. So, as you can see here, as expected, it's a knife that I think is teetering on the scale of being considered a large knife. I would definitely put it somewhere between medium and large. I don't think it's a huge knife or a big knife, but definitely I think a little bigger than medium as well. And two more here, a couple really good front flippers. That is the Tucson TS190, I believe. I always struggle to remember these numbers. I'm pretty sure it's the 190. Or 129, TS129, I believe. That's what that is. That is the TS129. And then we also have the Boker Excalibur, one of the best things Boker has ever made. S35 VN steel, great front flipping action. And as you can see, somewhat similar in length, just a hair longer than the Fif20. And nice little threesome of front flippers right there. Some good looking knives. So now that we got size comparisons out of the way, let's get talking about this knife. I have wanted to check this out for so long, and I have my good friend D'Lo to thank for it. This is another D'Lo special, and this knife is indeed very special. When it comes to the blade, I love the width of this blade. Some blades are wide at the bottom, but a lot of them don't stay that wide all the way up to where then it starts to roll off the belly up to the tip. This one does. I love this blade profile. Very, very simple, but has just the little subtle swedge up at the top here. If that's even considered a swedge, it's so subtle. I'm gonna call it a swedge. I'm pretty sure that's what it still is. But it just looks great. Love that hand-rubbed satin finish. Absolutely gorgeous. And very, very slicey blade. A nice full flat grind with an edge coming down to anywhere from 10 to 11 thousandths from my measurements. So an incredible blade there. Cuts extremely well, and it also has a very nice sharpening choil. Love that sharpening choil down there. Gonna last forever, as well as the jimping on the spine is also pretty darn perfect, to be honest. Bites the finger very, very well. Does not aggravate it from the regular front flipping method. There is we'll get to talking a little more about that when we get to the actual action, but just a stunning blade. Love the Philippe Georgette maker's mark there, in a really good spot too. It really does look great there. It's like it's supposed to be there. So it wasn't just some afterthought. So really love the way that looks. Then you have the Custom Knife Factory on the other side. Again, just in a great spot to help keeping the blade look very open, and just excellent placement of everything on this blade. Very well executed blade. Going into the handle and ergos. The ergos are great. They're really, really good. What makes these ergos good is the thickness, but kind of how they got to the thickness. You have the contouring on the sides coming up, and then a nice amount of thickness from the middle of the handle on one side to the middle of the handle on the other side. It almost feels like they started with something circular and worked their way down. Really does feel good in hand. The only thing about the ergos that I would say could probably be improved a little is the pocket clip here. It's a great pocket clip, fantastic pocket clip, and we'll talk more about that. I think you guys already know what I'm going to say about it. But up here on the front, this could be smoothed off. I do wish that was kind of smoothed off a little, because you feel that, and I think for someone that doesn't have massive calluses all over their hand, that could be a hot spot. But again, for me, it's not, so no complaints from me. It just fills the hand really well. It really does. Even large hands, I think this is going to feel pretty darn good. Just so good. It's everything I was hoping for, because I'll let you guys know, I actually have one of these pre-ordered through Custom Knife Factory, and since I had one pre-ordered and I knew, gotta pay for it now, I was really worried about this not living up to what I was hoping it would be. Hit back on that in my overall thoughts, but I was worried about that when this came in. I was like, darn it, I really hope this does not disappoint. Yeah, spoiler alert, it's not disappointing. Other than that, though, what the clip really does, it gives you that grip for the front flipper. And we'll just get into it right now. Let's talk about this action. So again, now you have that nice full flat milled clip. My fingers go right around it. I can hold the knife even with the blade open in this position. It's just an excellent grip I have. Nice, secure feel in hand, and then whips right out. A guillotine on the drop shot almost, but still very smooth, extremely smooth. What really sticks out to this on me is the detent. I think the detent is what makes this knife, the action on it, very unique, and the feel when you're feeling the action, it makes it very unique, because it's somewhat of a strong detent, but when I say strong, you're kind of automatically assuming it's crisp. This is just it's strong and smooth, I think is the best way to put it. A strong and smooth detent, because it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to shake this blade out. So you can do it. You can shake it out, but that was a very hard shake I gave it. If you go to pull it, you feel a lot of retention. I mean, you gotta really pull it out. So it has a good amount of resistance on the detent, but it's still smooth. And that's really what makes this an excellent front flipper, combined with, of course, combined with the pocket clip. So you have the excellent pocket clip to grip onto, and you have that nice, smooth, but still strong detent with enough resistance to where it's just a perfect combination. And it makes front flipping this knife very, very enjoyable. It makes the reach around very, very easy. Just a little pinch here. It might be hard to do. The Band-Aid takes away some of the grip, obviously, from my thumb, but comes right out. Yeah, I should probably just take the Band-Aid off to do this. But it's much easier without a Band-Aid on your finger. Feels really, really good. The only gripe I have with this knife is I wish they would have done something to smooth this out a little more up here. It's not, there's no chamfering whatsoever up here. You see a little angling right up there, which is okay, but what you're really feeling is the top of the roundness, like, so where that actually makes a point up there, a very, very small point, and it's not going to cut you, but that can start to wear on your finger a little. Not from just front flipping it, but really more so doing the reach around, which is very easy, but you do feel that in your on your index finger. It'll start to wear if you do it a lot. Like if you're a real fidgeter and you fidget with your knives all the time and you're just sitting thinking and you're constantly doing this, eventually that will start to wear on your index finger. But as far as just front flipping it really doesn't. It is surprisingly friendly on the thumb tip. So very nice to report there. I was really relieved about that. Anytime I see a front flipper with a point like that, I always wonder, I hope it's in the right spot, because if that point is too low with the pivot, that's where you're going to have issues. But this is obviously, Philippe obviously knows what he's doing. It's up high enough to where it's pretty darn buttery. The action of this really is fantastic. The way it closes is just so good. So good. This is what I've always thought of when I thought of Custom Knife Factory. This is the level of fit and finish you should expect from a knife that is $580. You have a very solid feel. You have nice fit and finish, premium materials. There's really no real complaints about this knife. I really do love it. I can't wait to get mine. I think it's still a ways out. I have no idea when it's going to come in. I should probably reach out to them, because I've been wondering that lately. But overall thoughts on this are, it is what I was hoping it would be. I'm not disappointed. Super excited to get mine in, and just a very, very incredible, awesome knife. If you like front flippers, and especially just pure front flippers, this is one you need to check out if you're into the hobby enough to bite the bullet and spend that much on one. It's fantastic. It really is. Definitely going to be probably a lifelong collection piece for me. Almost somewhat of a grill knife, to be totally honest. Just love this design. Love the action. Love everything about it. Really, really good. D'Lo, thanks again, as always, brother. And let me know what you guys think. Do you own one? Have you experienced one? What are your thoughts on the Fif20? So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.